Hello, welcome. Um, I was in the middle of coding and I figured I may as well start streaming. So I have the chat up here. I do also have this window with the stream overlay, but I'm not really looking at that much. So just ignore it, as I will. The main thing that I want to be looking at is, sorry, nobody ever goes by my window because I live at the very edge of the world, but somebody did, and I was confused why, and I'm still confused why, but it doesn't matter. It's none of my business. So this is whatchamacallit. Yeah. So what we're doing today is uh, imagemagick. So basically, here's the pitch. Okay, so um, I've got this basically if I just go to an empty workspace here, this is the default hyprland wallpaper. It's got the hyprland logo, which I can't do the little click and drag thing like you can on Windows because I don't know, it just doesn't have that. It's fine, don't use it anyway. And it's got the waifu here, and it's got this splash text, which is just random splash text. That's all pretty cool. Now, the splash text delights in being random, and there's ways to get that. The Hyperland logo is fine. It's just completely neutral. I'd like to have it. I don't care. The waifu, however, I'm very disappointed in the Hyperland team because, as far as I can tell, um, if I just open a file manager and we go to user share. Yeah, if we go to, how about this? Hyperland. This files app is garbage on this computer. There we go. So we go into user, share, scroll down, H-I-J, H. It was after G, but before. Wait. Oh. You know what it is? It's because I'm on Bedrock Linux. I have to go Bedrock, Strata, Arch, and then user share Hyperland. H-Y. There we go. User share Hyperland. So there's different wallpapers, right? There's, say, this wallpaper, which is just the plain one. There's the other plain ones, but in different resolutions. Then there's the first anime one, which is with this girl with the cyan hair, and there's three of those. And then there's this other girl with the Miku colored hair. I'm not good at color names. Um, and then there's, of course, just the raw PNG logo of Hyperland. And I'm very disappointed that these these images are just made. They're like pre-built as the wallpapers. Like, that's so disappointing, right? You could just have a little script that generates that like puts the PNG logo on a canvas or on an image, and puts the anime girl like on top of there too, and you could like have a directory with different ones, so it would just put a random background and a random version, I guess a random font of the logo if you wanted, and like a random anime girl on there. Like that would be the dream, right? So, um, that's not how it is, but that's how I want it to be. That's how it could be. Um, and I've decided, so that's what I'm making. I'm making that in PowerShell. And this image here is what I've got so far. Perhaps, how do I make it float? I don't remember how to make a window float in Hyprland. I should do that. That's really something I should. You know, I can just go to my config file, config hyperland.conf, and then search for float. Next. Command V. Okay, so if I something buffer other frame, I want to view this buffer in another frame. Yes, this one specifically. All right, and that opens this JPEG in another frame. This is just the working JPEG, by the way. So now I want to Command V this bitch, and that makes it very small. However, it can be largified. And look at that. We've just got the bigger Hyprland. There's Hyperchan for you. And that means we can. Oh dear. What? Okay, I'm not sure what I just did to Emacs, but I'm gonna let it go. Nobody's actually watching yet, right? All right. Yeah, no. Okay. So I'm in this window and I need to go Control X0. That closes the window. Yes. No. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Control G. Hard Control G. Everybody quit. Everybody panic mode. I hope I didn't just crash Emacs. You know, if I did though, everything's saved. I save my files obsessively, so we're probably good. The one thing is my RAM is at like 99% and the swap is climbing, so yeah, that's pretty worrying. Control X, Control C, that doesn't work. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to kill Emacs before it kills my computer, and I have to restart the stream. That'll be annoying. I already went to too much effort to just get a stream going in the first place. Kill all Emacs. Did that work? Oh, that did work. Nice. Alright. Now I will start Emacs again, and let's just let that open up. Maybe having a file, maybe viewing PNGs is just not what Emacs is good for. Let's resize this again, just make sure this is fine. Okay, yeah, OBS is decent at this kind of stuff. So now we're going to view file other frame, hyperchan.jpg, which is what I've named this temp file. And that is very small. All right, I'm just gonna let that sit, and we're gonna see what it does. I'm looking at my my system monitor. Okay, we can use Emacs. This has not. All right, cool. So now the wrong size as soon as I zoom out. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Oh well. Moving on. So now I want to find .local bin hyperchan. The number of things that start with hyper is increasing exponentially, and my PowerShell is language server is failing to install because Bedrock or something. I don't know. Anyway, so you can see the waifu dir is a directory that I've got. This thing keeps. I gave up on that. I gave up on that folder. Is there an image viewer? There is an image viewer. I want to open the image. Hyperchan.jpg, and I want to. Okay, that's. I don't want that full screen. I want. Not that presenter. I want to not show the title bar and the borders on this window, but I think that might be foolishness. So we're going to just open up a terminal, and we're going to fire up PowerShell, and we're going to run this script, because one of the things that it already does is it goes for different different backgrounds, because I have different backgrounds. Oh, I should kill this buffer, because we're not actually using it. So there's the black background, and then there's the Haruhiism background, which I've been using various places, which it's the stained glass image of Haruhi with the which is overlaid on top of my Mojave sand dune, but a little bit darker on top of. Anyway, all this script does so far is it puts the Hyperland logo on top of things, and it doesn't scale the logo yet. That's the next thing I'm going to work on. There's that. That's the one I use for my profile picture. It's pretty small, so I really need to make that Hyperland logo smaller. I don't actually use that as a background. Then there's this one, which I'm glad this photo viewer at least it does things, okay? It does some stuff. So here's the scrolling works this week. It usually doesn't, but right now the scrolling in Emacs is kind of smooth. That's nice. It's not something to be relied on, but it's kind of cool when it works, you know? So, yeah, let me just source. Can I source that? Yes, I can. All right. No, that's not what. Okay. It didn't bind the variables. What did that even do then? Okay, that's weird. Anyway, so if you look in .local share waifus, there is only one file in .local share waifus, and that's because trying to deal with overlaying a randomized waifu image would be too difficult. But I do have the randomizer built already. It's the same same pipeline as for the background randomizers, so I'm pretty sure that works fine. Um, getting the dimensions for an image is surprisingly not straightforward. Um, by the way, I'm doing all of this in PowerShell because it does math, unlike POSIX shell script. You have to like shell out to awk or something, and I don't know what the syntax for math in Zish is, but it's probably not great. Whereas with PowerShell, um, pluses work. Plussing numbers adds them, and plussing strings concatenates them, which is exactly what you would expect to happen, and it just works that way, which is really nice. And slash is for division, and dash is for minus. It's exactly as it should be. It's just brilliant. Um, yeah. 5 plus 5 is 10, and 5 plus 5, but it's in quotes, is also 10, but quote 5 unquote plus 5 is 55. Very nice. Anyway, we can avoid that by just casting them as integers, which is what I'm doing. And you can actually extract. PowerShell is really nice for like extracting things out of strings and then using them as not strings. Rather, it's a fun puzzle to get stuff out of strings every time. So like file like the Unix file command, it prints out a bunch of data which is usually not in a great format, but you can just split that up by commas and then get the figure out with a regex which part of it is relevant, is the dimensions, which is what I've got here, and then just split that across the multiply symbol, and that just gives you your dimensions, and then you can use them in math, which is super nice. The problems that I'm having are that this hyprland logo, this hyprland logo is it's quite large. It's a lot larger than most of my wallpapers, and what I really should do is I should make my wallpapers big and I should make them all the same size, but I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna get around to it. And so instead, I have to make the hyprland wallpaper smaller. So we're going to rename that to the logo source, and then we are going to make the logo PNG a smaller one. So I need to Google here, and you can't see this, but if I moved it, I guess you would be able to see it. So I go to 6, and then put this on number 6, and then I put this not on number 6. All right, so here we can. I don't like this setup because I'm going to have to move it across every time I want to do stuff with it, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. My setup is so jank anyway. Here, check out my setup. This monitor, the second monitor here, is actually not connected to this computer. It's connected to the other computer in the other room, and then I've just got a VNC connection bringing it back around. So there's a tiny little bit of lag. It's really not noticeable. It's not bad at all. Um, and the one thing that actually means, like the practical upshot of it all, is that um, I get to have three monitors. Someone on Tumblr suggested putting them, getting a box called a display link box, and that's a great idea, and I've got to do it, but I'm out of money right now, so that's not happening. By the way, no one showed up in chat yet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm seeing that okay. I'm not looking at the analytics right now, so that's why that is. Anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to make more backgrounds that look like this. But these are like pre-made and they're bundled with Hyprland. So if I can like generate those on the fly with custom images, that would be great. That's what I'm aiming towards. So our logo PNG is I have to be able to scale the target Hyprland logo into a smaller size. So what I was doing was I was Googling over here, or there. I was going to search for Hyprland. No. Imagemagick scale transparent PNG. Yes. Resizing. So this is a problem where it didn't work, so if we can figure out what they did to make it stop not working, that would be good. Resizing it. Dash resize. So dash resize seems to be the way to go just to get started. What happens if we magic user share hyprland.png dash resize 400 by 400, and we put it as home, as a temp hyperlogo.png, and then we look at temp hyperlogo.png. That's still, oh wait, emacs doesn't do those correctly. So now we have to, I have no way of verifying if that worked. Yeah. Maybe that worked. Hyperchan. Do it again. Oh look, the logo is tiny now. It's like 400 pixels because that's what I set it to. And it's just stuck there. I do have like a plain black background. PNG is one of the things that happens there. Which is why a lot of these look bad. And it looks really tiny on the 4K Mojave sand dune, as you do. So that's because I actually need to so with this whole dash resize thing, And I can't put a minus there. Resize. I don't want the board, I want the... keep... Yeah, aspect ratio, that's what words are. Scales and image will returning, yeah. Okay, go to this page. Let's see this page. Okay, so it just does the right thing by default unless you... So this is a vertical image, and when you give it a new square, it just puts it into a smaller square. Now, how big is this smaller square? It's 64 tall, so that it fits into a 64 by 64 area. Okay. So what that means is that I have to give it the larger dimension. Wait. What happens if we resize to just one dimension? Resize 400. Did that work? What happens if we do this now? It looks the same. So that's probably fine. So what I actually need to do is... it would have been easier to do the smaller dimension, but I think we've got to do the larger dimension. So how much of this... What I'm looking to see is, like, how wide do you think this logo is compared to the whole screen? You think it's... Because I'm thinking that's gotta be like a quarter or less. So... So we take the width, which is the y, which is the x, the resolution x, res x divided by 4, divided by 5 for good measure, into temp hyper logo.png. And we've got to put that in quotes. And now when we do this, okay, that's a less bad size. Let's look at it again. That's also less bad size. You can see it's not quite lining up with everything correctly, but it is at least in a consistent location within the image. That's good, at least. You know, that's a start. It works even with the giant one. Come on, wrap around to the big... I'm gonna get rid of the black screen one pretty soon. Just watch me, I swear I'll do it. Why, what is... There we go. See, even with the giant, absolutely huge thing it puts together. So now we need to fix the sizes. Logo. So now that we have the logo X and the logo Y, or rather the logo height. Maybe this will work. Yes. Okay, let's try that. Boom! I'd say that positioning is a lot better. Look at this. I'd say this positioning is a whole lot better. Um, it still doesn't quite work on the lighter backgrounds, but that's where the thing is definitely supposed to be. I like that. Um, we should make it a bit larger though. I think five. I think the fifth is a bit small. Let's do a quarter. Oh no. Um, we gotta reopen the image viewer. Open recent. Or not recent, but what? Image viewer, and then we open hyprland.jpg. I didn't see it earlier, but there it is. Command V, resize this and move it back. You gotta be careful with this window. Apparently it just quit earlier. But that's a bigger size, right? Look at look at this. That's a much better size. I actually think that's still a bit small. I also think a third would be a bit large. Can I set it window to just... I don't want to set it to never getting focused. I want it... Oh, that's what was happening. Okay, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'll figure this out eventually. Open hyperchan.jpg. Command V. Resize. Put the mouse so that it's definitely not in that image. Do this again. You know what? I'm going to remove... I'm going to remove the empty black JPEG from the running, just so that it doesn't get used ever for these, because it kind of breaks the format. And also, I just don't want to. Anyway, that's a pretty good size. That's a bit too large. Maybe we could try times 2 over 5. I think 2/5 would be like the ideal size. Wait, is 2/5 bigger than a third? There's no way 2/5 is bigger than a third. You're. I refuse to believe that 2/5 is bigger than a third. You cannot convince me that is how math works. Perhaps I'm just. Wait. Yeah. Full screen this. That's way too large. Okay. I have come to believe that that is way too large. And so the actual answer is that it should just be a fourth. Yeah, we gotta check this as just that. Yeah, that's about right, right? Like compared to. Okay, it needs to be slid over to the right a bit more. What is the angle? What is the angle of this? It is an eighth of the way over. We'll put that a sixth of the way over. How does this compare now? Full screen. Fifth of the way over. Yeah, needs less. Maybe I should just like pick a random fraction, but I don't want to do that too much because then it would just get all random, you know. So let's see how that looks on the various different backgrounds. And multiplied, filled, and compared with this. All right, that is not quite spot on. It's a little bit low. I'm putting my hand on the thing exactly where it goes. Yeah, it's a little bit low and it's a little bit over the left still, but I think generally that's about right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, the next step, and something that I have been kind of dreading a little bit, is putting the waifus on there. Is the stream is still going, right? Let me check my. Okay, nobody's watching, but it is still going. Yes. Okay, that's fine. I'm doing this for me and not for you. So we've got all this, and I need to start adding. I'm going to put some comments in here because my attention span is running out. So that's that. Um, all right, that's that. And then these are gleaned from those. Yes. And then this function is horrifically named by the... There's two different indentation processors for the classic Emacs PowerShell mode. Not the new one that this person made, but the older one that I'm using on my main configuration. There's LSP. There's like the raw indented PowerShell one, which you just press tab and then it makes everything look all nice like this. But then if you okay, I'm not sure what that was. There's a thing that you do. Huh. Well, language server protocol tended to do a different... Oh, that's right, it doesn't work because my LSP is broken right now. Yay! Didn't need it anyway. PowerShell is just writable like that. So this is just getting the dimensions of the canvas, and we have to do that first. And then we make the hyprland logo the right size, and this is the coordinate to put the thing on the place. And then this is I don't know that I actually explained this earlier. So the way that this script actually works is it's just running imagemagick, basically. It's just calling, it concatenates this big string with all of the options that the whole logic of the script is configured to follow into a big old imagemagick command, and then it just runs that through shell. There are you could call imagemagick directly inside the script. In fact, I do that earlier just to resize the logo. But there are a few cases where it just doesn't recognize the numbers or the syntax or something. Spaces, quotation marks are a pain to handle, so it's easiest to just shove it all into the shell because that's where imagemagick already knows how to interpret things. So next thing we need to do is add the quote waifu unquote image. And as I've learned, that means putting it where it goes. So, do I have paint? Do I have GIMP? I want to sketch this out. Oh my god, you know what I have is I have SVG. No, not that. What's it called? Draw. Apparently I don't have that. What? I used to have this thing that would like let you draw like in MS Paint, but inside of Emacs with SVGs. And it was like an insanely cool program that you could just embed. Um, but I must have gotten rid of it. I'm not sure what happened with that. Anyway, what I want is, because you figure this is probably the center of the waifu is probably about 3/4 of the way into the screen. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna write all this out. Center of the waifu is 3/4 times y, whereas y, or rather goes at 3/4 times res y, and the center of waifu equals waifu width over 2, of course. I know how math works. So that means that the position of, first let's get the actual dimensions. Which luckily I already have. Now if I were a better PowerShell programmer, I would probably make those actual objects, but just having lots of variables that are all at the same level and are named different things is a bad habit I picked up from shell scripting. And also eLisp does it, or rather it doesn't do the better ways that there are of having properties of things, which is kind of good in Lisp, but PowerShell being object-oriented. It doesn't matter, you can Pascal, what's it called? Fortran in any language syndrome. I have that, maybe. Shell in any language syndrome, really. So now that we have the waifu height and the waifu width, we have the absolute dimensions of the waifu. We need to place her where she goes. Waifu start y is going to be it's 3/4 of the res y minus half of the waifu width. So res y times 3 divided by 4 minus parentheses y waifu width over 2. And then we need to just place the waifu start, I don't know. Where does the waifu start X-wise? She needs to... The bottom of the picture needs to be at the bottom of the screen, so she needs to start X-wise wherever the bottom of the image is. And I know that she's not being scaled correctly. I'll handle that later. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so... When you're confused, write it out longhand. Write a comment. Feet of waifu go at res x. Head of waifu is the minus yeah, okay, I know what I'm doing. So waifu start x equals res x minus waifu height. Cool. And now we can just move all of those comments so that they match where they go. I can't freaking believe this, man. Start x plus a plus sign plus... No, I don't believe in using format strings. I hate format so much. Waifu start y plus a space plus the waifu herself. And that will either work or it won't work. Let's see. Does it work? Oh, she's way too big. Okay. That's a little bit less way too big, but still way too big. She's like mostly on the right, in the right spot though. Okay, no, she's way too small. Okay. Surely there is a background for which she is. There we go. Still too small. I may not have gotten the aspect ratio right. I'm not obsessed with Haruhi, guys. She's just really photogenic, I swear. Words that people actually say. Doesn't really matter, does it now? Yeah. So, how tall should she be? She should be... In the reference image, she is, let's say this is the center of the... See, that's the center. That would be half of the center. And that would be half again. So that's an eighth. So she is 7/8 tall. 7/8 of the height tall of res y. So 7/8 res y. So instead of waifu here, we'll have waifu source, and then waifu equals temp waifu.png, except in I'm gonna make it so this doesn't clutter up your temp directory eventually. And we're just going to magic this. Resize into res x times 7 divided by 8 into waifu. Wait, why wasn't I? And now we can, now that she's being resized according to the actual size of the thing, it should make all of these things fit better, please. What? No, she's way too big. This is taking a really long time. I'm concerned. No, she's still way too... Why is she being... Why is she turning out... Oh. Res Y, not res X. That's better. That's not perfect, but that's better. Give me a different background. All right. So that kind of works. This picture of Haruhi is not the best though. Let me find a better one that that fits the it fits the hyperland kind of vibe maybe. I don't know. Probably shouldn't have scraped that one in the first place because that was just fan art. How big is this Yuki? Large enough as an image file. Save image as local share waifus Yuki. For some reason, I don't know how search works. I mean, I know how it works and it's bad. That one's like already, that one's like pre-cropped. Okay, I can't do that one. I'm sorry this is boring content, but also not at all. There we go. Wait. Why is she... Is she always going to end up... When I downloaded that picture of Yuki, she's like... It's like... I don't know. What am I saying? Oh well, it doesn't... I mean, it does matter. Everything matters, but also nothing. Um, I'll keep scrolling through the less relevant results. Maybe the one I'm looking for will show up there. Who knows? Like I said, I don't know how search works. Um, Now these are definitely getting less relevant. Okay, I do know how search works. I told ya. I told you. I didn't not tell you. Okay. Yeah, no, I am gonna stick with this one. I'm just gonna find a whole bunch more. Uh, what was the There's like a mental block. I'm whining. So here's my theory. No, here's how I'm justifying the the way my mind works right now is that like there's a cringe threshold, right? There's an amount of cringe that I'm okay with, that I'm happy with, that I've reclaimed. It's like, yes, yes, I'm okay with liking anime. I think that's fine. I I'm it's a cool medium of stuff. There's some good stuff there, and there's also some bad stuff, but I can just not think about it. And if people associate me with that, then that's their problem for being small-minded. But like Googling particular characters from particular anime is like more difficult for me because it's like, how do I justify this? Like, why do I care? Why do I even want to have an anime girl on my computer wallpaper? I'm just gonna cover her up with stuff anyway, with windows and things. So why does it matter? Um, but also, I guess the flip side is, if I'm gonna cover her up with windows and things, then it really doesn't. It's nobody's business how what I put on what I put on my computer. Um, it's just a different. That doesn't feel as correct though. So with all that said, I wouldn't have such an existential crisis if I were just not streaming. That would be totally. Is anyone even watching this? Oh yes, they are. Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop chickening out. Um, we've still got size, large, color, transparent, type, whatever. Nah. I googled a character, and when I filtered it with the I need it to be a transparent PNG that's like decently large. And when I filtered that out, like none of them are worthy of me downloading them. It's just like I'm like honestly pretty surprised. I thought for sure with such a popular character especially that there would just be a ton of graphics, and there's just not. Somehow they're just not. Like they're all stylized fan art with the overly realistic lighting. It's like, nah, I want my. It's not. I hate when people call anime 2D because it's not. It's like clearly taking place in a three-dimensional world. It's just stylized. But like these people like have like triple RTX on all their fan art. It's like why do you do that? That doesn't. Who does that look good to? I don't understand the appeal. Um, but you know, no, you don't. What show was I gonna? Oh yeah. It's just like any show and like any character from any show that I come up with. It's like, oh, I don't care about them enough, or it's like, oh, what would that say about me if I had that on my computer? It's like it doesn't matter, bro. It just nothing's happening, and I'm sorry. Let me do a different. It did the same one. What are you doing? I'm trying to make a point here about. It just does the same one twice in a row all the time. Uh, there we go. Under Wicked Skies. Um, yeah. Tools. Color. Transparent. Size. Large. Size. Any. I've given up. Sorry. Somebody made a Minecraft skin of the character that I'm looking for, and like, that's a good bit of effort, making a Minecraft skin. But, like, there's so many, and they're all, like, not very good. And also, like, why would you do that? Why would you make a Minecraft skin of a character that really, really, really does not fit that aesthetic, like, whatsoever? Okay, not that one. For some reason. Oh my god. It's Pickle Rica. Okay. I've gotta save that. All right, refresh until it shows up now, because that is. I can't believe this. Sorry, I just can't. I just can't. That's that's not what I was looking for, but I'm keeping that. I am taking that home with me. That is just absolutely precious. Now, how do WebP images work? Because this latest one is a WebP, and I don't know if WebP's, if ImageMagick can do WebP. So I guess we've just got to keep rolling. Come on. So the more like stuff you put into the script, like specifically the more calls to ImageMagick you put in the script, the longer it takes to run every time, which means that it's a lot slower to just like do things. Oh, oh, I'm a baka. Okay, now that should be included. There we go. She doesn't quite fit, but that's okay. I'm sure that some part of my calculation thingy is off here, because just look at Yuki there. She's definitely not meant to take up that much room on the image. First, though, re-indent for the sake of all fitting on the screen. The resolution Y times 7/8. 8. 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . 8 . dot round. Number is not a thing. What's 7? What's 7 divided by 5? It's 1.4. Get type. What type is that? It's a double. What, really? What all can you do with a double? What is the measure of a double? Round. Can we round? Round. Double round. 1.4. What is 1.4 round to? It rounds to 1. What is round 0.5 round to? It rounds to 2. That is exactly what we want. Okay. Wait. What if we 7 divided by 5 dot round? Does that? That's not how that works either. Yeah, because it's not case sensitive. So clearly what we have to do is double round. Okay, so what about that then? That should work. Hyperchan. Invalid. Very large Yuki. Now that Haruhi fits the same as she did before, and that Haruhi fits the same as she did before, and Mion is still way too big. Where's y times 7 over 8? We need like a maximum width. Width is an eighth. Let's say the maximum width for the waifu is 1/8 of. Oh yeah. Res x times 1/8. So that way we're judging by the. Okay. Now Mion is way too small. And so is Yuki. And so is Haruhi. Make her a fourth the size. What does that do? Now Yuki is only a little bit too small. Pickle Rika takes up just a corner of the screen. I still can't believe that. Okay. Mion is almost exactly the right. Is that almost exactly the right size to you, chat? Nobody's in chat. Compare that to Okay, that's not right at all, but that's fine. Close enough. Um, okay, I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. I feel sort of confident about all of this. So thank you all for watching, and